Welcome to our channel HD Rare Coin 111, your go-to spot for uncovering the incredible world of rare US coins. If you've ever wondered if your old pennies, nickels, or dimes are worth more than face value, you're about to find out. In today's video, we'll be exploring some truly rare coins and their shocking values. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. So let's jump in. Top 1. The United States of America Washington Quarter Dollar from 1967 is a fascinating coin that captures a unique moment in the history of American currency. To the casual observer, it may appear to be just another older quarter, but in the world of coin collecting, certain examples from this year can command jaw-dropping prices. This coin's story is a blend of artistry, history, and rarity, making it one of the most intriguing pieces for collectors who understand its hidden potential. The Washington Quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Its design, created by John Flanagan, quickly became a staple in American coinage. By 1967, the coin had already been a familiar sight in circulation for 35 years, but that year marked a significant shift in U.S. coin production that set it apart from earlier issues. The obverse of the 1967 quarter features the iconic left-facing portrait of George Washington, with the word "Liberty" arching above his head. Beneath his chin sits the national motto, "In God We Trust," and the date 1967 is prominently displayed at the bottom. Every line in Washington's hair and every detail in his stern yet dignified expression reflects the precision of the engraving. The reverse carries the majestic image of a bald eagle with wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows with an olive branch beneath. The words, "United States of America," arch above the eagle, while "quarter dollar" marks the denomination below. The Latin motto, "E pluribus unum," rests gracefully between the eagle's wings. One of the most notable aspects of the 1967 Washington Quarter is that it was struck without a mint mark. This was due to a special policy at the time when the U.S. Mint temporarily removed mint marks from coins between 1965 and 1967 in an effort to discourage coin hoarding during the coinage shortage. As a result, identifying the mint location for 1,967 quarters is not possible, adding an interesting twist to their history. Another key point is that by 1965, the U.S. Mint had transitioned away from using 90% silver in quarters to a copper-nickel-clad composition. This means that the 1967 quarter contains no silver, yet certain examples can still be extremely valuable due to their rarity in high-grade condition or the presence of minting errors. High-grade 1967 quarters are surprisingly scarce. Most were heavily used in circulation, collecting scratches, dings, and wear over decades. Finding one that remains in pristine mint state condition with sharp details and brilliant luster is a rare feat. Collectors are also drawn to unusual error coins from this year, which might include double die strikes, off-center strikes, or coins struck on the wrong metal planchet. These errors often slip through unnoticed during production and can make a 1967 quarter dramatically more valuable. The survival of any 1967 quarter in exceptional condition is impressive. It means the coin was likely set aside soon after minting, protected from the wear and tear of everyday use, and preserved for more than half a century. Proof-like examples also exist, though they were not official proof coins. These coins display unusually reflective fields and sharp details, the result of fresh dies and careful striking, making them a delight for collectors to discover. For many collectors, the 1967 quarter holds a certain nostalgic charm. It carries the look and feel of older U.S. coinage while representing a time of transition in American minting history. Owning one in perfect condition is like preserving a snapshot of that era. When high-grade 1967 quarters appear at auction, they often generate excitement among bidders. These coins may not have silver content, but their rarity and flawless condition makes them just as desirable as many precious metal coins. The Washington Quarter design itself is timeless, combining national pride with artistic elegance. Its continued use, with only minor updates, speaks to the enduring appeal of Flanagan vision. For beginner collectors, the 1967 quarter is an accessible starting point for learning about coin history, composition changes, and the importance of condition in determining value. For advanced collectors, finding a truly exceptional example is a satisfying challenge. Every detail of the coin tells a story, from the decision to remove mint marks to the shift in metal composition, making the 1967 issue a perfect blend of numismatic interest and historical significance. Some collectors have found rare varieties or errors in unsuspecting places, turning what looked like an ordinary quarter into a valuable treasure. This possibility keeps the search alive for both seasoned and new enthusiasts. The beauty of coin collecting lies in discovering value where others see none, and the 1967 Washington quarter embodies that spirit perfectly. Even though millions were made, the rarest examples are true standouts in any collection. It's a reminder that not all treasures are made of gold or silver. Sometimes they're clad in copper and nickel, carrying their worth through history, rarity, and collector passion. And for the finest known examples of the 1967 Washington quarter dollar, the value can reach an astonishing $157,000. Top 2. The United States of America Washington quarter dollar from 1979 may seem like just another piece of pocket change, but in the world of coin collecting, some of these coins hold far more value than their modest 25-cent face would suggest. This particular year carries a fascinating blend of historical significance, design tradition, and rare variations that make certain examples incredibly sought after by collectors. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of the nation's first president, George Washington. Designed by John Flanagan, the coin quickly became an American icon, featuring a bold portrait of Washington on the obverse and a majestic bald eagle on the reverse. By the time 1979 came around, the design had already been in circulation for nearly half a century, yet its timeless appeal continued to capture the spirit of the United States. On the obverse side of the 1979 quarter, Washington's left-facing profile dominates the center. Above his head arcs the word, Liberty, a constant reminder of the ideals he fought for. Just below his chin rests the national motto, In God We Trust, and the date 1979 stands proudly at the bottom. Every detail of his hair, facial features, and the delicate curvature of the lettering was carefully engraved to create a coin both functional and beautiful. The reverse is equally striking, with the bald eagle spreading its wings wide in a show of strength and freedom. The eagle perches on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing readiness to defend the nation, while an olive branch lies beneath, representing the enduring desire for peace. Surrounding this central image are the inscriptions, United States of America, and quarter dollar, with the Latin phrase, E pluribus unum, gracing the space between the eagle's wings. The 1979 Washington quarter was produced in large quantities at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. Coins struck in Philadelphia carry no mint mark, while those from Denver bear a small D, and San Francisco issues feature an S mint mark, most often found on proofed coins intended for collectors rather than circulation. By 1979, the U.S. Mint had long since moved away from silver coinage, producing quarters in a copper-nickel clad composition. While these coins do not contain precious metals, their value in the numismatic market depends on condition, rarity, and the presence of unique errors or varieties. High-grade examples of the 1979 quarter are difficult to find because most were heavily circulated, collecting scratches and wear over time. Coins that remain in pristine mint state condition with full original luster and no visible flaws are the ones that truly stand out to collectors. Proof coins from 1979, struck in San Francisco, are especially admired for their mirror-like surfaces and sharp details. Within these proofs, some varieties feature a Type 1 or Type 2 mint mark style, with the latter being more refined and desirable. Collectors often seek out both types to complete their sets. Errors in varieties from 1979 can dramatically increase the value of a quarter. Examples include double die obverse, off-center strikes, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. Such mistakes are rare and often went unnoticed until discovered by sharp-eyed collectors years later. The thrill of finding one of these rare quarters often lies in the unexpected. Many have been spotted in old change jars, inherited collections, or tucked away in rolls of coins from banks, waiting for someone to recognize their significance. Owning a high-grade 1979 quarter is like holding a piece of living history. Each one has traveled through countless hands, yet the rarest examples have survived the years untouched, preserved as if frozen in time. Collectors value these coins not only for their beauty but also for the stories they carry. A quarter from 1979 has lived through decades of American history, from the tail end of the Cold War to the dawn of the digital age. The artistry of the Washington quarter design remains a point of pride for the U.S. Mint. Its simple yet powerful imagery continues to resonate with Americans, representing both the legacy of the past and the promise of the future. For new collectors, the 1979 quarter offers a perfect starting point. It is common enough to be affordable in circulated condition but rare enough in top grades to provide a genuine challenge. For seasoned collectors, the hunt for error coins or flawless proofs keeps the excitement alive. Every so often, exceptional examples of the 1979 Washington quarter appear at auction, sparking bidding wars among collectors eager to secure these numismatic treasures. The prices realized can be astonishing, far exceeding what most would expect for a coin that started its life worth just 25 cents. It serves as a reminder that in the world of coins, value is not determined solely by metal content, but by history, rarity, and collector demand. A small change in strike quality, or the survival of a coin in perfect condition can make all the difference. This is why careful examination of old coins is always worth the effort. You never know when an unassuming quarter might turn out to be a true prize hiding in plain sight for decades. The 1979 Washington quarter dollar proves that even in an age without silver coinage, certain coins can rise to legendary status among collectors. And for the most exceptional examples known, the value can reach an incredible $104,000. Top 3. In the world of coin collecting, certain pieces stand out not just for their age but for the stories they carry and the incredible value they hold today. One such treasure is the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from the year 1980. At first glance, it might look like any ordinary quarter you'd find in your change, but for collectors, this particular coin can be a dream come true. The year 1980 sits in an interesting era for American coinage, where traditional designs met modern minting technology, and small variations in production created rare finds worth a fortune. The Washington quarter had already been a staple in American pockets for nearly 5 decades by 1980. Originally introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the design became instantly iconic. Even in 1980, the obverse still carried the dignified profile of the first president, facing left, with the word, Liberty, inscribed boldly above. The motto, "In God We Trust," remained proudly displayed, symbolizing the nation's heritage and values. For many Americans, this was a coin they used daily without ever imagining it could be worth more than its face value. But the magic of coin collecting is that everyday objects can sometimes turn into extraordinary artifacts. The reverse of the 1980 Washington quarter still featured the majestic bald eagle with its wings spread, clutching arrows and olive branches, a symbol of both strength and peace. This familiar design masked the fact that certain mint errors, low mintages, and pristine conditions could make a coin like this extremely valuable in the right circumstances. By 1980, quarters were no longer made of silver for regular circulation, having switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition in 1965. That meant the 1980 issue was intended to be common and utilitarian, yet some special examples emerged as rare gems. Collectors particularly prize coins that were struck in exceptionally high quality, known as proof-like or mint-state examples, or coins with striking errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, or unusual planchet flaws. Another factor that can elevate the value of a 1980 Washington quarter is where it was minted. Coins from certain mints, especially those with significantly lower production numbers or with unique die characteristics, can be far rarer than others. In some cases, a coin that looks perfectly ordinary to the untrained eye could be a key variety sought after by experts and investors alike. Condition is king in numismatics, and a 1980 quarter in perfect mint-state condition can fetch astonishing sums. Coins that have never been circulated, showing no signs of wear, retain their original mint luster and sharp details, making them stand out from the millions of others struck that year. These high-grade coins often survive only when they were set aside by collectors or accidentally stored in bank rolls for decades. It's also worth noting that 1980 marked a time when the U.S. Mint's production techniques were improving, but minor inconsistencies still slipped through. These small quirks, like slight variations in the design or anomalies in the metal, could result in collectible varieties. For specialists, identifying these tiny details can be the difference between a coin worth 25 cents and one worth thousands. The thrill of discovering such a coin often comes unexpectedly. Imagine sorting through loose change, spotting a 1980 quarter, and realizing under close inspection that it has an unusual die crack, a proof-like surface, or a minting anomaly. Suddenly, a common coin becomes a rare treasure that tells a unique story. Collectors appreciate the 1980 Washington quarter not only for its monetary potential but also for its place in American history. It's a reminder of the country's founding ideals, as represented by Washington himself, and of the artistry and skill involved in coin production. The combination of historical significance and the possibility of rarity makes this coin a favorite among hobbyists. Auction houses and coin shows have seen remarkable results for high-grade or rare variant 1980 quarters. These coins often draw competitive bidding, with seasoned collectors eager to secure an example that meets their strict quality standards. The excitement in the room when a rare Washington quarter comes up for bidding is palpable. For new collectors, the 1980 quarter serves as an accessible starting point in the hobby, a coin they can search for in circulation or buy at a modest price, with the dream of finding one in exceptional condition or with an error. It's the hope of uncovering something extraordinary that keeps people searching through change jars and bank rolls. The coin also teaches an important lesson in numismatics. Rarity doesn't always come from age alone. A coin minted in 1980 may be decades younger than some classic U.S. coins, yet it can be far more valuable if it has the right combination of factors. This challenges the assumption that only old coins are worth collecting. Over the years, stories have emerged of lucky finds, individuals who stumbled upon a rare 1980 Washington quarter without knowing its true value at first. These moments inspire other collectors and reinforce the belief that valuable treasures are still out there waiting to be discovered. The beauty of the Washington quarter design, combined with its enduring popularity, ensures that coins like the 1980 issue will continue to be cherished. Whether kept in a protective holder or displayed proudly in a collection, each rare example carries a legacy that goes beyond its metal content. Even though millions of quarters were minted in 1980, only a fraction have survived in the kind of pristine condition that excites serious collectors. That scarcity in high grades is what drives the prices up to impressive heights. For those lucky enough to own such a piece, it's both a financial asset and a connection to America's numismatic heritage. If you ever come across a 1980 Washington quarter, it's worth taking the time to examine it closely. Look for sharp details, full mint luster, and any unusual features that might set it apart. A careful evaluation could reveal that you're holding a coin far more valuable than its modest face value suggests. Coin collecting continues to be a blend of art, history, and treasure hunting, and the 1980 Washington quarter embodies all three. It stands as a shining example of how something so familiar can still hold so many surprises for those willing to look closer. In the world of rare coins, the stories are just as valuable as the metal itself, and the 1980 Washington quarter has a story worth telling. For the fortunate collector who possesses the finest known example of this coin, its value has reached an incredible $100,000 in words. Top 4. The Washington quarter dollar from 1991 may appear as just another common coin in your change, but for seasoned collectors and coin hunters, this particular year hides some exciting surprises. The coin was part of the long-running Washington quarter series, which began in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1991, the series had already gone through numerous design adjustments, minting processes, and subtle changes, but that year also brought coins with features that make them valuable treasures today. When you first hold a 1991 Washington quarter, its design may seem familiar, The obverse showcases the proud profile of George Washington, facing left, with the word Liberty above and In God We Trust to the left. The date 1991 sits neatly at the bottom. On the reverse, the iconic heraldic eagle perches on a bundle of arrows, wings spread wide, surrounded by olive branches as a symbol of peace. While this design remained consistent for decades, it is the smallest details that can turn an ordinary coin into a high-value collectible. The 1991 quarters were produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with billions struck in total. Coins from Philadelphia bear no mint mark, while those from Denver carry the small D mark to the right of Washington's ponytail. While most were struck for circulation, a smaller number of proof coins were made at the San Francisco Mint, intended for collectors and carrying an S mint mark. At first glance, it may be hard to imagine how such a modern coin could be worth anything more than 25 cents. But the truth lies in its rarity when certain conditions are met. Coins that have survived in pristine, mint state condition, untouched by circulation, are much harder to find than you might think. In particular, examples graded MS-68 or higher by professional grading services are incredibly scarce, making them highly sought after. The 1991 Washington quarter also has a fascinating connection to minting errors that occurred during its production. Collectors actively search for off-center strikes, double dies, and coins struck on improperly prepared planchets from that year. Some even hunt for transitional errors, where the wrong composition or design features appear unexpectedly. These rare mistakes can dramatically increase a coin's market value. Another factor driving up the worth of certain 1991 quarters is eye appeal. A coin with strong luster, sharp strikes, and no distracting blemishes commands far higher prices than one with dull surfaces or heavy marks. Toning, when it occurs naturally and in attractive patterns, can also add a premium for collectors who appreciate beauty as much as rarity. Proof versions of the 1991 quarter, struck with specially polished dies and mirror-like fields, also hold value when they remain in flawless condition. A perfect proof coin graded PR70 can sell for many times its face value, especially if it's part of a complete proof set from the year. The history of the Washington quarter adds depth to the story of the 1991 edition. By this point in U.S. coinage history, the quarter was still made of copper-nickel-clad composition, a change that took place in 1965 after the removal of silver from circulating coins. While silver quarters from before 1965 naturally carry intrinsic metal value, the 1991 quarter relies entirely on condition, rarity, and collector demand to elevate its price. For many, coin collecting is about more than monetary value. It's about holding a piece of history, preserving a tangible artifact of a certain time in America. The 1991 Washington quarter, while modern, still serves as a reminder of a pre-state quarters era, when the eagle reverse was a familiar sight in everyone's change. If you happen to find a 1991 quarter in pocket change, the first step is to examine it closely. Look for a sharp, well-centered strike, no visible wear, and a gleaming surface. If you suspect it might be uncirculated, it could be worth submitting to a professional grading service. A high grade can be the difference between a small premium and a life-changing sale. Collectors also know to check for errors. Even a slightly misaligned die or a doubled inscription can turn an overlooked coin into a valuable collectible. Keep in mind that error coins are often one-of-a-kind or produced in very small numbers, which is why they command such attention at auctions. Auction history has shown that even relatively modern coins can achieve impressive results when the right combination of rarity, quality, and demand aligns. Several 1991 quarters in top condition have brought thousands of dollars in competitive bidding, and the best examples are locked away in private collections. The popularity of the Washington Quarter series ensures that demand for high-grade coins from any year remains strong. Since the design change to the state quarters in 1999, earlier designs have taken on new historical significance. This has only fueled interest in the highest quality examples from the 1990s. One of the key lessons here is that coin collecting rewards attention to detail. Something as small as a slightly different mint mark position or an unusually bold strike can be enough to set a coin apart from millions of others. The 1991 quarter is no exception. It's also worth noting that the thrill of finding such a coin is part of what makes the hobby so appealing. Whether you search bank rolls, visit coin shows, or inherit an old jar of change, there's always the chance of uncovering a hidden gem. Some collectors specialize in building complete date and mint mark sets of Washington quarters, including high-grade 1991 pieces. Others simply want that one perfect example to represent the series in their collection. In either case, the market supports strong prices for the best of the best. And while most 1991 quarters will never be worth more than a few dollars in circulated condition, those rare, flawless examples, especially with dramatic errors, stand apart as exceptional finds. So the next time you see a 1991 quarter, think twice before spending it. With the right combination of perfection and rarity, one of these coins could be worth far more than its face value. In fact, the most exceptional known 1991 Washington quarter dollar has sold for an incredible $66,000. Top 5. In the world of coin collecting, some treasures remain hidden in plain sight, passing from hand to hand without anyone realizing their true worth. One such treasure is the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from 1994, a coin that might seem ordinary to most people but holds a story filled with history, design brilliance, and the potential to be worth a small fortune. This coin captures the essence of American numismatic artistry and is a testament to how a simple pocket change item can transform into a collector's dream. The Washington Quarter series began in 1932, originally minted to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. By 1994, the design had already been a familiar sight in American pockets for decades, but that year's minting carried its own unique characteristics. While millions were produced, a handful emerged with such pristine condition, unique errors, or exceptional strike quality that they became rare gems in the collector's world. Holding a 1994 Washington quarter is like holding a piece of living history. The obverse showcases the bold profile of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, a tribute to one of the nation's greatest leaders. The detail in Washington's hair, the sharpness of the lettering, and the crispness of the strike can dramatically impact its desirability among collectors. A well-preserved example with flawless luster can instantly set itself apart from the millions in circulation. The reverse features the heraldic eagle, wings spread proudly, clutching arrows of strength and an olive branch of peace. This design had been used for decades before being replaced in 1999 by the State Quarters program, making the 1994 issue one of the last to carry this classic American imagery. The symbolism, combined with the coin's metallic shine, appeals to those who cherish tradition in numismatics. What truly turns an ordinary 1994 quarter into an extraordinary find is its condition and rarity. Coins graded at the highest mint state levels, especially those with sharp strikes and minimal contact marks, can command significant attention. Even more intriguing are error coins, those with off-center strikes, double dies, or planchet flaws, which can multiply a coin's value many times over. Many people are unaware that these valuable quarters could be sitting in old coin jars, tucked away in drawers, or even hiding in daily change. The thrill for collectors lies in spotting that perfect combination of rarity and condition. Searching for such coins can feel like a modern-day treasure hunt, where patience and knowledge can lead to remarkable rewards. The 1994 Washington quarter also represents a fascinating point in the timeline of American coinage. It was minted in an era when traditional designs still dominated, yet change was on the horizon with the approaching State Quarters program. This makes it historically significant, as it stands at the crossroads of two eras in U.S. coin history. Collectors often emphasize the importance of mint marks when determining value. In 1994, quarters were minted in Philadelphia and Denver, with some proof versions struck in San Francisco. Each has its own level of scarcity, with proofs often attracting those who appreciate flawless mirror-like finishes. Knowing where your quarter was minted can be the first step in understanding its potential value. Another key factor is preservation. Coins stored carefully in protective holders or discovered in original mint sets often retain their original mint luster and sharp details. Such coins, when professionally graded, can astonish both collectors and investors with their market value. The demand for high-quality 1994 Washington quarters has been steadily rising, especially as more people enter the hobby and learn about the hidden gems within modern coinage. The excitement of finding one in mint condition or with a rare error fuels the growing interest. Some of the most valuable examples are those that combine rarity with impeccable visual appeal. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for coins that not only have historical importance but also look as if they were struck yesterday. Even though millions were minted, the vast majority have seen heavy circulation, losing their sharpness and acquiring scratches. That's why uncirculated examples are so sought after. They represent the coin exactly as it looked the moment it left the mint presses. The 1994 Washington quarter's beauty lies in its simplicity and the powerful symbolism it carries. From George Washington's resolute profile to the eagle's proud stance, it encapsulates American pride in a small but enduring form. For many, collecting is not just about value, it's about the stories coins tell. Each 1994 quarter has passed through countless hands, perhaps traveling across states or even countries, silently witnessing decades of change. Yet, for the lucky few who discover a rare, high-grade example, the story takes an exciting turn. That small silver-colored disc can become a prized possession, admired not only for its design but for the fortune it represents. The coin market continues to surprise collectors, as prices for certain rare finds rise with time. The key is awareness, knowing what to look for and recognizing when you've stumbled upon something extraordinary. Imagine the excitement of holding a coin you once thought was worth only 25 cents, only to discover it's valued in the tens of thousands. That thrill is what keeps collectors searching and fuels the passion of the hobby.so. Next time you see a 1994 Washington quarter, take a closer look. Examine its condition, check for unusual features, and don't underestimate the potential value hidden in your change. Because in rare cases, a coin like the 1994 Washington quarter can be worth an astonishing $66,000.